As we grow, we are adding more and more resources for the community. And since Mary wanted me to talk about rainwater harvesting, I got exposed to rainwater harvesting in 2004 when one of my friends from Minneapolis said, Raj, we have set up a building in Chennai called Rain Center, where any person can walk in and see how to do rainwater harvesting in their home. It tells you how to pipe your building, how to capture the water that falls on the roof, and how to store it, and the excess, how to recharge the groundwater through infiltration pits. It was a great demonstration. And the chief minister of Tamil Nadu went there and then used that as a platform to make rainwater harvesting mandatory in the whole state of Tamil Nadu. Any new building without rainwater harvesting will not be approved or permitted by this city or state government. So that forced a big rush of many, many people doing that all over Chennai or Tamil Nadu. And there was a dramatic increase in the groundwater levels in the area. And so then many, many other states started following it. But it has been kind of slow because people are always resistant to change. And then I saw that I was working in the Deep Tunnel project in Chicago, where we spent billions of dollars over a period of 30 to 35 years, digging a tunnel 300 feet below our city from the northern end to the southern end, putting 32-foot diameter tunnels, and at pumping station, which is 400 feet deep and can pump all the excess water from a huge rainstorm of 2 to 3 days to our treatment plant, one of the largest in the world, and then treat it and dispose it back into the system. And when they realized that even that system cannot handle some of the huge rainfall events that happen in Chicago, especially with climate change, they started promoting every local community in the whole water reclamation district to say that if you install a rainwater harvesting system, capture the rainwater through green infrastructure, let the water infiltrate into the ground instead of just running off and getting into the storm sewers, which are combined sewer, storm and sanitary sewer. And that makes more of a work for us, and this tunnel can handle it. So finally, after spending billions, they realized that rainwater harvesting is absolutely critical. So about 4 years ago, I had an opportunity to work with the University of Illinois campus in Chicago to make them net zero campus. And we suggested a complete green infrastructure where they had water cisterns, they had swales, bioswales, they had roof gardens, and every possible way to store even their baseball field. We told them, dig a 20-foot deep structure there, fill it up with gravel. And so it gets filled up. And whenever you want water, it's a source that you can draw from. So, and they said, where do we get the funds? We said, the Water Reclamation District is promoting this. So we'll get you a $500,000 grant from them. So we got them the money, we gave them the design, and they did it. So governments are realizing that that is the easiest way to prevent flooding, to use our resources wisely and recharge our groundwater, because over many, many years, we've just gotten used to putting a hole in the ground, a well in the ground, and start pumping. And as we do more and more of that, the groundwater table goes down, and we have to go deeper, more expensive, more power to pump that water, all that. So rainwater harvesting is easiest. And so last year, Hari had suggested that he was thinking of that for some schools. So we said, hey, that's a great idea, because if you catch them young, it'll become a habit for them. Their awareness grows. So we will have a school of about 1,400 students. The whole school will be transformed into rainwater harvesting facility, where we'll catch that in two big sumps, which was used to store the pumped groundwater. Instead of that, we will catch the rain, store it in those two huge sumps for use, and then anything that cannot be stored because of heavy rains, we will infiltrate into the ground. So and then an eco education module where we teach the kids how to monitor the rain. As soon as the rain comes, how much rain came, they'll be aware of that. And what it is doing, how much water did we store with this rain? So all those things they know how to calculate, what benefits it's doing, and how the quality of water they are getting is significantly improving compared to as we go deeper into groundwater, all kinds of minerals and others come, which we have to treat. The quality goes down as we go deeper in groundwater wells. So we get clean water provided by the Lord and saying, hey, here, this is water that we can use with some minerals added. It becomes very clean, healthy water. We're going to get the teachers, students, and the community involved. So this way, it becomes a habit. And by the next generation, people won't think, where is my closest tap? They say, how do I capture the rainwater and become independent of this grid of pipes which are leaking, which have all kinds of problems, and the cost of water goes up? I can become more independent. So this is what we are launching, and Global Waterworks is going to take this message to groups like Rotary Wash, so many other charitable groups all over the US, around the world, who want to help out because they are making money. They are in the water business. They want to help the least of us who don't have access to clean water. So Global Waterworks will spread this kind of good news to more. So people say, I would rather put my corporate charity into this kind of work instead of so many others that come my way. So this is something Mary is actively going to work on it with World of Water Action Forum. And we want to make this a habit for the next generation of kids. One more thing before I talk about the other organizations in India and around the world doing good work is we started a project with Engineers Without Borders, Chicago, in Western Kenya for a school community of 500 plus kids. 200 are orphans in that school. And we started saying they had a groundwater well which was producing turbid water. So we put in a filtration system and a supply system. Then we said they are not doing any rainwater harvesting. And the year after we came back after installing their system, their whole bathroom area was flooded. The kids had no bathroom facilities because of a heavy flood. So we said, why aren't you doing rainwater harvesting? So we went back a year after that and put in rainwater harvesting facilities. And now we are looking at the whole school area to prevent flooding, how to catch the rain, infiltrate into the ground. And the bathrooms will now use water that is captured in rainwater tanks. So this way, they supplement their groundwater resource by recharging the groundwater, by catching the rainwater and using it for many, many purposes on campus. So that is an ongoing project in Africa we are doing. But in India, there is a group called DNA Life. I was exposed to them in 2019. And they are doing some amazing work in the Western Ghats, where they're doing afforestation. And even some of the rocky outcrops, they converted into dense forests by using the soil in those rock cracks to plant trees. And the trees, after a while, grew up. And the whole area is now capturing so much rain. The whole catchment area has increased. The amount of rain has increased, and they're catching it, and the farmers are thriving. So this is what a holistic picture looks like, where we do afforestation, we plant trees to make sure we capture the rain. We capture the rain in cities. Then we let the water infiltrate into the ground, preventing flooding. And then we use our technologies to reuse, recycle, and reuse. If we do all these things as a package, we will never have these water crises. In a generation, we can solve it like Mary and Frank are looking towards that. next generation and catching them young, doing all these things from the supply side to the demand side to the recycling and reuse side, then we will start to solve the water crisis around the world. Thank you.